You guys all ready? Okay. Bring this Washington County Public Works meeting to order. Everybody's here except for Nick, who's excused. And this is posted as required by state law. We'll stand for a moment of silent prayer and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, everybody have a chance to read through the meeting minutes? Any changes, mistakes, errors, anything? Seeing nothing, they'll be posted or saved as posted. And we are going to switch around here. We're going to look at the access appeal item E on County Highway D. I'll need a motion in a second. Motion by Supervisor Hartwig, second by Supervisor Vispalek. Go ahead, you got the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll see in your packet, there is a report and some photographs, aerial photos of a location out on County Highway D. This location is northwest of the city of West Bend, near Good Luck Lane before the curves near Kettle Moraine Drive. The applicant contacted Washington County looking at putting in a fenced-in apple orchard as a business with a small parking lot. We work with the applicant, who is here today, to come up with a location for that driveway across from Victoria Drive or Lane, excuse me, and also have access to potential neighbor if there's some development going on to the west as well. So we've had a good working relationship with the applicant. He's willing to put it at a location that is very serviceable as far as turn lanes, bypass lanes, future use, as well as has good sight lines and sight distances. The other location along Good Luck Lane, while we're here today, proposed certain challenges to make that happen. And so looking at this as a win-win for the county to get in a decent location. Good Luck Lane does not have the full turn lanes and bypass lanes that's up there right now, as well as the ditches and whatnot that they have to encounter going down Good Luck Lane for that access. So we would look for your support for this variance to the code and your policy, and allow the access as presented with all the recommendations that were in your report.
I was going to ask that. I'm glad you covered that already. So does anybody have any questions, concerns? Go ahead, Supervisor McCulloch.
Just a quick question. So Scott, so the header on this is appeal of denied access permit. Who denied it initially?
We have to deny it. So your policy, the county's policy that you created, says if you have a parcel that is on a town road and a county highway, you have to access off of the town road.
So it had to go through this process.
It has to go through this process. We don't have that authority to override your policy, so it has to come to you.
Okay, thank you.
And as I can see, like you said, there's no sight, the line of sight is clear. There's no issues or no safety concerns.
Correct.
Okay.
And they are going to remove their existing driveway as part of the, if you looked at the report through that as well.
Right.
So there'll still just be one access point on the property.
Supervisor Vispalek.
In looking at that picture, is that the house where the driveway is being removed right there?
Yes, they'll have the new driveway to the west, and it'll come in, there'll be a parking lot in that area, and they'll have access to the house. And there's a barn that's very close to the roadway too, that you can kind of see with I'll call it a reddish roof.
Okay.
So they'll have access with the parking lot to the house
Yes.
that way. Okay.
Correct.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll vote. All approved, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Now we'll go back to item A, culvert and bridge aid update. And being that there's a resolution here, it's not just an update, so I'll need a motion in a second. Supervisor Hartwig, Supervisor McCulloch. Okay,
I
thanks
also
for
have,
straightening that out before.
oh, you bet. Gina, I'm number 5, if we could bring it up on the screen. Uh, I know there are a lot of numbers in your report, and as I'm doing an update as well as a resolution requesting funds for the town of Farmington. I am not sure why that picture's up there. There's gotta be a way to display the screen. Better than that. You'd think with my IT experience, I'd be able to do that. Well, in your packet anyway, there is a spreadsheet, and I'm gonna go through that spreadsheet. So if you can bring it up for yourselves. It's definitely on my end, Gina. That's definitely on my end.
Yeah.
And so what we're looking at, if you look up there, we had a 2025 contribution of $100,000. So everybody can see that right on their spreadsheet that's there. It's a very top line on that spreadsheet. Everybody kind of see that or there? Okay,
The 2025 contribution on the spreadsheet says 100,000.
100,000, yep.
Okay,
So in your fiscal year, end of the year, your 2025 budget cycle had $100,000. And so we had 15,000 left over from 2024. So we had $115,000 in that account. You'll see on the left-hand side, all of the resolutions that this Public Works and the county board all approved. The ones that are in the peach/orange color, salmon color have all been paid already. The ones that are in white are still remaining. I'll pick on like Beech Nut Road Bridge. They spent $8,756.67, and they still have a budget remaining of a requested amount of $6,243.33. And you can kind of go through the whole list of ones that are approved and ones that actually have budget remaining on them. We get down to, you may recall that the Indian Lore Bridge up in the town of Farmington as part of the August 9th and 10th flooding event failed, had to be rebuilt. The county had an emergency action, had an MOU with the town of Farmington for $225,000. So the account actually went to the negative by the end of 2025 to the tune of $207,812.45. Your current budget that this county board just approved, you approved $100,000 contribution plus an additional 125 on top of that. The unfortunate thing is that basically covered the 225 that was due to the town of Farmington. So you're left with about $17,000 in account at the beginning of this year. And so what we'd be looking at doing then is providing that funds instead of just leaving it sit in that account. Provide $12,000. That's where that green line comes in. We would put a $12,000 mark in there. That's what the resolution is for today for the town of Farmington, which would then leave you with $5,000 left in that account. Then again, in 2027, you start with another contribution of the 100,000 plus the 125. You have committed to the town of Barton to the tune of $130,000 already. It's hard. This is why it's a lot of numbers. I apologize. We're just going straight down the list, which means that you'd have the 94,000 minus the 12,000 that you would send out to the town of Farmington if you approve the resolution today. Down below in that green box are those towns that actually provided resolutions to Washington County. I have talked to the town of Addison. They're willing to delay their Westview Road project till next year. The town of Farmington, 12,000 we're talking about today. The town of Farmington J Road Bridge, they may be, I did talk to the town chairman who is here today, do that project either this year and then potentially get the funding for it when we have funding starting next spring. And then town of Barton Newark Road, they again too may go forward the project this year, knowing they might not get funded until 2027, basically floating themselves alone for that course of the year. Then the project we have in 27, the town of Farmington East Marine Box Culvert. I have again talked to the town chair. There is a possibility. The DOT has a new funding program for structures less than 20 feet and over 6 feet, which is that one would be eligible. But it's not in a poor enough condition yet to get eligible for that program. But it might be something the town looks at to say it might be worth their best interest to wait another year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that takes to get it down to that lower rating, apply for the state funding and get that one paid at a 90-10 split. I mean, that's a win-win for the town as well as us. And we are currently working with other towns and the city of Hartford on other projects other culverts that are eligible for that funding as we look forward. Down at the bottom, it's just with knowledge of bridges and structures in the county. These are other ones that we know are going on, but we don't have any resolutions from the towns for any of those structures yet. We know they're out there. I did talk to the town clerk for the town of Jackson, for instance, and got some updates on his project too and how they're looking at doing it. So there could be that as well. And I want to point out, and again, the town of Farmington chair is here as well. Their bid structure, that MOU, that 225, 450,000 for that structure altogether. They did a great job applying for FEMA aid, just like everybody else in the county. FEMA aid was denied and then denied again. But now there's 2 other funding opportunities potentially out there as well. A WEM grant, Wisconsin Emergency Management, as well as a DOT. When they have structures in their roadway, there's a grant system. So there's 2 more coming. So it is possible, and both those are going to take time too. They're not, just snap your fingers and get those grants. It's probably 3 to 6 months before we know that, but it's possible that they also might get a 70-30% split on that. It's possible. I don't know the chances of that happening, but I know the town is willing to make that application, and we're certainly supportive of that and help them any way we can. So with that, what we're looking at the resolution is to use of the 17,000 that's left this year, 12,000 to the town of Farmington for their Orchard Valley Bridge, which is going this year. They did get other funding for that structure as well through the state of Wisconsin. So we're happy they applied for called ARIP program for that. So good that expense is actually significantly less than what it actually could be if it was funded through the regular program with 50-50 split. So they're able to secure funds from the state of Wisconsin for that too. So with that, Mr. Chair, I certainly would answer any questions. I did include all the resolutions for you. I know one time I talked to the chair about it's first come, first serve. But like I said, that town Addison, 17,000 in account, and they want 28. It didn't really work out. And so they're looking at delaying theirs. And that's why we went right down to the next one on the list that came in our door. And that's how I did that after a short conversation with the chair about what would happen if we didn't have enough funds in this account.
It sounds like even though we went through that process, we still don't have enough funds in that account. But
Yes.
I guess bottom line is the extra money we got in for the 26-27 budget cycle is obviously going to be used up with no problem. So it might behoove us to look into 28-29 and maybe do the same thing until we get caught up with this stuff.
I think now with everybody having their a lot of their structures, especially the ones that are 6 foot or greater now, have all been inventoried and inspection, should help us out quite a bit. A lot of our towns, as mentioned before, have gone through and done a culvert inventory of their culverts. There's several towns we've worked with that have done that. And again, hopefully that would limit surprises coming down the road. And we're always stressing we provide that service for free. The application, the GPS unit, they can go out there and inspect their culverts, and we store that data for them. We're still pushing for the other towns to do that, and that'll help hopefully balance us out in the future. We can get a better feel for it, because like our 2060 plan going, all right, where are these sitting at, and how many do we have that are poor shape and good shape? So that should help it balance out as well going forward, as well as the state of Wisconsin is now looking at when they do a new bridge construction, they're paying 100% of construction costs right now in the towns for the most part. But that does leave a little window for if the town has to get right away for a bridge or other stuff like that. So that's why you see these very small amounts of $10,000, $12,000 for replacing a bridge that's local funded.
Gotcha. Does anybody else have any questions on this?
Yeah.
Supervisor McCulick?
So Scott, you mentioned the grants that could come through for that for the Indian Lore, bridge. So if those come through, is the county reimbursed for that for our $225,000?
Yes. So think of it this way: the whole total bridge was 450.
Yep.
Okay. If it's 70-30, I'm not gonna do math in my head.
Yeah.
So 70% will go that way. The 30% then would be split 50-50 between the town and the county. That's the way the MOU was drafted up. So there could be if 70% of 450,000, 280, something, whatever it is, would then be, and half of that would go back into this account then. So yeah, so it could be possible if they do receive that grant that we could come back to you and possibly fill some of these up and approve some of them yet this year. It just depends on how fast that process is, and if the towns still have the time to do their projects.
So, Mr. Chairman, on that subject, so as you look at these, you'll notice that this is obviously a town of Farmington centric, issue, and so they had that flooding happened to their bridge. And
Sure.
so the county executive took care of that. And hopefully that gets remediated. As someone who represents a more urban area, it's hard for, and I understand the county subsidizes a lot of things for the towns. And with all due respect to Supervisor Newman, who's my board mate here and my neighbor, in my opinion, as we move forward, we want to be very careful about with natural disasters and with bridges being taken out to whether or not that's a county issue or a local issue.
Mhm.
There's a compelling case here that could be built that, that could be said that people like to live in rural areas because A, they like the rural nature, and B, people talk about they like the lower property taxes. But with a rural nature comes an insurance risk, and that risk is there are fewer people in a given township or municipality to spread the risk if something happened that needs to be taken care of.
Mhm.
And so I've never been a fan, whether it's the federal government coming in on hurricane aid and things like that, for the government stepping in and paying for something that really is either the home, in the case of an insurance company, the homeowner's responsibility. If you build a home in an area that is prone to be hit by hurricanes, that's on you, right?
Mhm.
In this case, if you live in an area where maybe there's low areas and important roads just get flooded out, I'm not so sure moving forward that I think that's a county responsibility. I think that is something that should be on their that they should have to assess on their taxes. And if they can get grants and such to take care of it, that's great.
Okay.
But I think we have to be very careful here because I think this is, these two things are, and as long as the other municipalities, the town of Wayne, town of Barton, some of these other townships, if they're all fine working this out and they're fine with this schedule, then I'm fine, with this. But I think, it's very generous to the town of Farmington.
Sure.
And, like I said, if, I could have taxpayers that are in my municipality that would say, boy, we're pretty good to that area.
Uh, I'll just remind you that normally, under normal circumstances, the taxes that we have for this shared thing are usually borne by the townships. That's a tax on, right? Is that correct? However, the 26-27 budget cycle, Josh, or the county executive, decided to pull it from a general fund.
Yep.
Instead of raising the taxes on those townships for this 2-year period. I'm hoping if we move forward, we can correct that and take it, increase if we need to for the bridge aid from the townships only.
The bridge aid from an incident where a
Oh,
natural
gotcha.
disaster takes something out, right?
Right.
I'm all for the bridge and the culvert aid. If
Okay.
there's a mutual, and everybody works together and they work with, our chief of public works, Scott Schmidt, that's great with me.
Mhm.
But when you have something that all of a sudden $225,000 is a significant, the whole budget for the, whole year is basically,
Sure.
225. So that's a big number. So with regard to a specific type of of an event that causes something to have to be done, wear and tear, or culverts, that need to be repaired, that I understand. That's what this is for.
Mhm.
And I think
Okay.
that's great. I meant with regard to some of these other things, and the county executive did it. And that's fine. And hopefully we can recover some of that from these grants. But I just, want to be, saying, as these things happen moving forward, absent the county executive do something, I would not be for bailing someone out like this.
Duly noted. Do you have anything else to add to that, Mr. Schmidt?
No, but I see Chairman Newman, if you can see him, has got his hand up.
Supervisor Newman?
Thanks. I'm glad you clarified where the funding comes from, because the funding for it comes from the towns that are receiving the funds. So I just wanted to cover that as well, but hopefully that these funding requests are gonna come in less and less, or for less amounts moving forward. We have a new program out there right now. It's called LISIP, which is the small bridge aid program that the state is doing right now. This is the first year of it. We don't know if it's gonna continue. We hope so. I don't know if Scott's got the number in his head, but there are thousands and thousands, I think 20-some thousand. I don't remember, throughout the state that this funding is gonna be used for. So that funding is right now is 90-10. So then of that 10%, then half of that would be part of these requests in the county. So with the state bridge fund at 100%, or even if it goes down to 90-10, these numbers should drop considerably. So future funding hopefully will go down, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then just to cover the one request for 2027 for the 100,000 on the East Marine project. I had a long conversation with the town chairman, the town of Farmington. He's a nice guy. You should talk to him sometime. But he's told me that they're gonna pull that request from this funding, just because now this new program has kicked off and it makes much more financial sense for the town and the county to hold off on that project. So I did send something to Scott. I don't know if he got it maybe a few days ago, but just want to let the committee know that as well. Thank you.
Okay. Chairman Schleif.
I will chime in too. One of the blessings of having a 2-year budget is that now we have a whole year and a half for this to kind of shake out. And then it will be in much better shape to make decisions on the funding when we
Right.
make the next budget. So,
Absolutely.
thank you.
All right, any other discussions on this? I think we beat it up pretty good. Okay, all approved, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, on to item B, transit ridership data. Assuming everybody looked at their packets and saw the new numbers.
Alrighty. Yep, I've included we didn't have the data yet in January for December, so I included the 2025 report with December included.
Mhm.
I think in the packet, that's the second report, so it's out of order, but and I've also included the new 2026 report with January. I've updated some of the columns on the reports, adding 26, shifted the years over. I added the percent change from the previous year on a per month basis. I've also included the days in the month, just to illustrate, if ridership goes up or down, just to might answer some questions there. Let's see, I've also combined the elderly and disabled in the fare type, just because there's some crossover there, and give a better picture of the percentage of riders in the program.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on this?
Has there
Supervisor
been-
McCulick.
Has there been any feedback on the new provider?
Nothing, no negative comments on the new provider. We have the operations manager from the previous provider. They now are employed by the new provider, so it was that definitely helped in the transition.
I definitely want to thank the current provider and the past provider for that seamless transition to the public. It went about as well as we could expect, with transferring vehicles over and make sure the ridership and computer systems gets changed over. I mean, it was a bigger lift than you might imagine to change providers like that during the week and a holiday at the 31st and into the 1st.
Oh, sure.
So I appreciate Charlie coming in on extra time to make sure that happened.
And this is a 2-year contract with these, right? With the new people?
A 2-year base and then 3 options.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Any questions from the committee? Any other questions, I should say? Seeing none, I guess we're good on this topic. Thank you. Okay, request for approval, name changes for Public Agency Center.
Yes, Mr. Chair. You'll see in your report, we actually made some changes to the conference rooms in this current building, the Herbert J. Tennis Government Center. We're looking at doing the same thing in the Public Agency Center. So it was decided to use little names of hamlets throughout the whole county. We provided those names over to the departments that are over in the Public Agency Center. Lou, the one that's going to be moving here at the end of this year. And they actually were able to select the room names for there. So they're looking at two of the rooms up on the third floor for Decorah and Aurora. Room 113 A and B is Willow Creek and 1023 is Rugby Junction. So if you don't have any objections to those names, there is a list of other names that are available on the inside the packet on the right-hand side that are don't have room names in front of them. So if you do not like their names we selected, we certainly are willing to have that conversation. And if you'd like to select other names, that will be the names, the list we'd prefer you to choose from.
The only question I have is with the name changes, are we still gonna have a number associated with
Yes,
that yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
every room will still have a number
Still
because
have a
of,
number.
just for security purposes and
Sure.
a whole bunch of other reasons. They'll still have a number associated with them. So yes, if they want to go, say, we're still going to 3222, it'll just be a little, and if you saw some of them, it's just paper inside the slip right below the name, and that's what they have on
Gotcha.
there.
Any questions on this? Do you need a thumbs up or is this?
Just if you have a objection, we'd like to
Any
hear it now,
objection?
or we will go through with these names.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Everybody else all right? Seems like we have a census here. Anybody in the back here? We're good to go. All right, moving on to the resolution 2025 discontinue excess right away. An authorization of sale. I'm gonna need a motion and a second on this one. A motion by Supervisor Vaspalik, a second by Supervisor Hartwig. Scott, you got the
Sure.
floor again.
If I may, hopefully the committee recalls that we've gone through with several of these in the past. It's one of our directives is to look for right of way along county highways that can go back onto the tax roll used for farm purposes, or whatever the purpose may be. When we're reconstructing Highway P, and this location is south of Sherman Road, kind of kitty corner southwest of the old Heidel's restaurant, now called Cedar Jack, just south of Sherman Road.
Okay.
We worked with our land conservation and the farmer, and I gotta say, it worked out great. Jamie's team was fantastic, getting this done in a very timely, quick manner. We look back and they look back at old area photos and realize that the stream that used to go along a fence line and along the county highway is a deep ditch. Actually used to go across the country, if you will, kind of at a 45-degree angle back prior to 1940 or earlier. So they're able to talk to the farmer, and with an easement grant to the farmer, working with us, is to reroute that stream logically. And if you look over there, it's beautifully, it meanders through there. So much better than a nice deep ditch along the roadway where cars could go into. We were going to have to pay a lot to put guardrail up there because the DNR, all their rules and regulations, but by meandering it, the county is able to save quite a bit of money on that. So one of those true where win-win-win conversations. As part of that agreement, we talked to the farmer and said that if we had excess right away following the project, we would sell it back to them at the same price that we bought it for. So it's basically a net wash, if you will, for the county from a financial standpoint. But it's a real win for the farmer. Gets that. It's not a huge property piece of land. We're not talking thousands of acres, but every little bit helps to get them to farm that. And we certainly appreciate any support you would have of this against a small dollar amount, a small square footage, but it would mean a lot to the farmer to get that land back.
Sure. Does anybody from the committee have any questions? It's pretty simple stuff. Okay. Well, on that, we'll take a motion or a motion. All approved, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
We're good to go. You bet. Thank you. I believe we went through everything now. So our next meeting date is March 19th, 2026. This meeting is adjourned.